How's it going, guys? Coffee here. Today I wanted to showcase my experience doing the new Trial of the Ancestors with the current patch. They did change a bit of the monster AI so that the um, chieftains for the enemy teams are now more likely to, I guess, more aggressively defend their base. So far with my testing, the things that I've noticed that is the best at dealing with this or ensuring that they don't defend their base is you do need to basically just kind of hold in your own base for maybe 10 or 15 seconds while you attack in order to kind of lure them in to your current base, and then pretty much the behavior is exactly the same as it was before. So that is going to be my recommendation for any builds that just are trying to channel on the back lines. Outside of that, my interpretation of kind of how things feel for me personally, the new way that it's set up, you are less likely to lose because the enemy chieftain doesn't aggressively just kind of base race you with their 4 escorts. Like a lot of times before, you'd run into issues with storm guards or something else where they're going to just kind of push your base and immediately be attacking 4 or 5 totems at once with proxy shield. This doesn't happen as often, but what does end up happening if you can't get their chieftain into your base, they're going to be there with their escorts kind of stalling things out and kind of turtling up a bit, which is going to add an extra 30 seconds to maybe a minute to every round. If you can't get them pulled over to your side of the base, you're going to kind of see how I go about approaching this here, and some things I've learned from testing this on my Pathfinder as well, which isn't using totems, is there's just a lot more kind of this like hitting and moving. My Pathfinder character isn't a totem character, so for that one it's a lot of dealing damage and just kind of being bait and running around and like letting your flanking minions actually handle a lot of the enemy. Yeah, go ahead and try things out. Watch the footage. I'll go over basically roughly my strategies for still doing this at rank 1200. And if you have any questions, then leave them down below in the comments, and I'll be more than happy to answer them. Alright, so let's go ahead and give this a run here with the new Trial of the Ancestors here. With the new mob AI, let's go ahead and give it a shot, see what how it's running here, and see how we have to change things. Oh, we're gonna go with this belt here first. We actually want weaker flankers. We want our stronger guys here on the front line. So far with my changes, basically the only thing I've noticed is that the chieftains are just more likely to kind of sit here in mid and want to fight a little bit early on. They just kind of stall things out for about a minute compared to how they used to basically play. Let's go ahead and kill these field masters before he takes out our whole team. Typically, so far my experience with it is that with the chieftains, they're just more likely to kind of sit in their base and kind of stall things out a bit more. In this case, it looks like Kahu still just wants to jump into your base and start dunking on everything. But so a lot of stuff, what I've noticed is that the matches take a little bit longer, but it is less likely that you end up in this base race situation that you just saw here with Kahu. There's the good and bad, I guess, with that. Let's see if we can get an item here. Here's the 50 we needed right here for this Thunderbird. So always try to make sure you can buy your units or buy other units before you like sell a unit to actually buy something. As you saw in that case, like if the Spear Dancer had an item, I could have just taken the item off it, but there was enough with the idol as well to get it. So I can do this without having to sell too many units. I do not have a Field Master, so I'm probably going to want to do Rockiata just to get a Field Master here. And that's going to be the only source of actual Field Master stuff here, so we're going to do that. All the rewards are junk. So I'm going to do the same stuff where I'm just going to put 4 things on flankers, 4 things on defense, and then, or 4 things on attack, 4 things on flank, and then get an attacker in there. But I'm typically a little bit more patient now just because the units are sitting here in mid a little bit more often. Or the chieftains rather are sitting in mid a bit more often, and they kind of stall things out like I was saying before. So they're more likely to just slow things down. So you have to be a tiny bit more patient with when you start channeling. Other than that, everything else is pretty much the same for each individual match. Here we're going to try to sell the items. I want to keep the Arohongwi favored just because having tight collars is nice. Let's go ahead and do Tahu here now. We can get ourselves another Thunderbird, as well as finish off that tide collar there. Let's get our 4 things on defense, 4 things on offense, and then 4 flankers. And we're just going to go ahead and push it through as normal. And I try to let my, if we do have any other flankers, you basically still want to kind of let them body block for you. It does make it less likely that you just take a random spear from off map, things like that. But we got lucky here. The AI decided to just push into the base like it was old times, basically. So we got our normal fast match here instead of something that's going to take a lot of extra time. It's always nice when the boss is not just trying to stall us out with the turtle defense. This one's actually worth selling a couple of units for. Sell an Honored Warrior and a ToTA. We do want to keep this favor here because we either want a Sunset Sage or a Spear Dancer here next if possible. Like, we're not going to be able to get that, but we can get another Field Master here. So let's go ahead and get these put in. Head color in the back, Kunakuna's in the back, and we'll get 1 escort unit now. Felt like the Lunar Turtle possibly has longer range on that channel now, or on his little AoE blast, but I'm not sure exactly. It seemed like it, but falling around. The 1 escort help here. The little mini stagger on the totems does seem to help a lot with actually getting these channels down and getting little tiny interrupts for a few seconds before you get attacked. I do not want to sit near that trawler. He's going to end up killing me if I do. So we're just going to deal with the turtle over here. We'll try to kill him and we'll just let our escort units actually deal with all the traps. Here. We got to die. Oh, we got him. Yeah, so it seems like if you do, you most likely can still just kind of get the enemy into your base. It takes a few seconds longer to do it. Like, you can't just immediately dive to the backline how you could. You have to be a little bit more patient with it, and in order to basically get it back there. So we have to set it there for a second and wait. I kind of want a Jade Hulk. I'm gonna get this now. Based off of what we got, we don't have enough to get anything else, so we're just gonna leave what we have, and then we're gonna go through. Probably gonna do Mata. We do Ikiahu and Ahuana both have good rewards, so we're gonna try to leave those for the end here. Unless we want this. No, let's leave Ahuana. I don't think those rewards are good enough to justify kind of doing that. So we're going to do the same thing. I want to put my more expensive units or better units in the center. These two are less likely to get channeled down as quickly as the outer ones, since the flankers like to go after the outer edge ones. And again, move the two Ataras into your escort spots and put the Honored Sages on defense, since they have a little bit of a ranged attack. They don't have to get as close in order to defend. Ow. That would be a Storm Conduit. Decided it's time for me to die. This isn't good. We have a camouflage Tuatura here, channeling in the middle on our totem. We have to play a little defensive here with the Storm Guard chasing us down. We can't just channel how we normally would. But this is where we just kind of place our totems, keep moving along the back line, try to move away from monsters as they're popping up. Get on the other side of the fences for our field masters, and we can kind of get things channeled down while avoiding the enemies here. Part of why Field Master does so good is that he just breaks a lot of the AI with his fences here. Now we've already got control of this, so this one's over here. See if we can maintain this setup of not having to, or to be able to pull the enemy into our base still is how it used to be. The first few matches I was trying this, I was not able to have that much success with it. I'm gonna get that down. I don't really need anything in particular still. I'm just gonna buy some stuff. I'll get this Frenzy Monger, and then, you know what, I guess we can buy this so we can get another Tide Caller here. There's 100 right there. 100 by the Tide Caller. And we're just going to sit on the other stuff still for the Paper Hill. We don't want a War Caller. We don't have enough to get a Spear Dancer or a Sunset Sage, so we're just going to push this into the final reward. We don't want 10 Regals, so we're just going to purposely lose here. And we'll place the units afterwards. About to have it. I guess I don't know if the forfeit button works unless you're already behind, or if your totem's already gone though. I don't recall seeing it just in game. So let's move this tough snack to the Jade Hulk. And I guess let's spend the excess stuff that we have here. Get some extra items, might as well. We can't get the Jade Blade.
we can. I do not actually like Eternal Pursuit. I just feel like it's just gonna get my units killed. But yeah, no, I don't want the Thunderbird falling over here. Well, you know what? Let's give it a shot. Let's see what it's like on the Thunderbird and give it a run here. And I'll put this on the Frenzy Monger. Got a tome. Go ahead and take that. Tide Crawlers in the back still. Frenzy Monger on the front lines. Having a War Caller does definitely help. The onslaught that you get does help with channeling. It seems like your action speed or casting speed does some impact on how quickly you channel. Oh, let's get behind this. Hopefully maybe get something off while their units are moving slow and away from here. Hopefully get this done before we get killed by a Tide Crawler. Just managed to get that off in time. Yeah. See, but this is where we're going to end up with a slow match because of the fact that we pushed too early. So she's just going to sit in her base now and defend for a while. Most likely it's going to take us a minute to kind of get her off. Hopefully we can kind of convince her to move her way into the base over here. I think we might have been able to get her over here now, so the next time after we spawn we can hopefully drop some totems here and get to the back line before we die ourselves. Fieldmaster down. Fortunately, I didn't get that stopped in time, but should still be enough that once we get these down, we can quickly win this race here. Yeah, we're good to go now. See, I mean, basically, again, everything just takes a little bit longer than it did before, because now that she's out of the base with her escorts, it's the same, normal way that it was running before. But because she's more likely to kind of sit in the base for the first 30 seconds to a minute, it just makes everything take a little bit longer. So, kind of a bit of a stall. So, things change a little bit from what I'm being told by others that are running stuff. The strategies are pretty much the same for if you're running any of the cheese builds. So, if you're running the permanent slow build with Elementalist and temporal chains, permanent chill, and ensnaring arrow totems, nothing changes. So if it is a mechanic that you're just trying to focus on and do it 100% or non-stop, then that would be my recommendation, would be to use Elementalist. They are pretty much the best at the mechanic at this point. But other than that, have any questions or comments about it, let me know, and I'll be more than happy to answer them. And other than that, see you on the next one.